Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/thenerdcore. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello, nerds. You're listening to an episode on the Nerdcore podcast feed. If you're feeling generous, please consider pledging to a tier on our Patreon at patreon.com/thenerdcore. We have tiers as low as $1 per month. Thanks so much, and enjoy the episode.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Nerdcore podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 293, and it is the first review of Marty Scorsese Film Month to celebrate the release of Marty's next film, The Irishman. And as always, is your nerd Chicano here to host the show alongside my wonderful co-host, Mr. Young Yoda. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Raul.
Doing great.
Amazing. How you doing?
How you doing? I mean, we're doing good.
You doing good?
I'm doing good. Martin Scorsese month. You mean the month where we imitate the New York accent? You know, we just
all the time. We don't even need a month for that. We do that all the time.
Yeah, you guys are lucky that we didn't even choose Raging Bull because we've already done it, or we'd be doing it. Bring it over here.
Go listen to it now.
Yeah, go ahead. Listen to it. Yeah, but we're gonna be here to talk about Casino, the first pick, which was Brad's pick because he won the coin toss. Brad, how are we doing today?
Feeling lucky.
Yeah, 2 fucking wins in a row, Brad.
No, I didn't get the last one. You got the last one.
No, you got Horror Month.
Oh, I did get Horror Month.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I got the last
I don't know if I fucking count that as a win.
You had me watch The Conjuring, Brad. I think
the rest of you had yourselves watch The Conjuring. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to watch Wolf Creek and be done with it. But you're like, no, we don't want to watch Wolf Creek.
We ended up still watching that crap. Anyway. Yeah. So we're past the spoopiness. We are here with the getting into the good old filmography of the limited filmography that we're going to be talking about of Martin Scorsese, you know, the legendary filmmaker. And if you never knew who he was, you damn well know him now because he's been stirring the pot about his comments on Marvel movies and stuff like that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the man and his wonderful movies. And today we're going to talk about Casino 95. Brad, if there is anything else to do, we should just go straight into it, right?
Spoiler alert.
All right, cool. So, if you have not watched Casino, this isn't 95, so it is after our cutoff date. Marty didn't actually start making movies until like the 70s, so any of his movies are after the cutoff date, so it's whatever.
You sure he doesn't have like a 1960s film thrown in there somewhere?
No, he started in 72. So,
okay.
You know how it goes. If you don't want to listen to this listen to the podcast because you don't want to get spoiled, this is your chance to leave. If you do, if you still want to listen, just listen after our wonderful spoiler noise. But with that being said, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was not loud enough.
There you go. You got it.
There we go. All right, Brad, introduce us to Casino.
A Casino, 1995 film. This comes, of course, from our most reliable website, Wikipedia. Never get anything wrong. I swear to God. Casino is a 1995 American epic crime film directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe the motherfucking Pesci. The film is based on the nonfiction book Casino, Love and Honor in Las Vegas by Nicholas Pileggi, who also co-wrote the screenplay for the film with Scorsese. The film marks the 8th collaboration between director Scorsese and De Niro. Wow. Casino follows Sam Ace Rothstein, a Jewish-American gambling expert handicapper who is asked by the Chicago outfit to oversee the day-to-day casino and hotel operations at the Tangiers Casino in Las Vegas. Supporting characters include Nicky Santora, a made man and friend of Ace, and Ginger McKenna, a streetwise chip hustler whom Ace marries and has a daughter with. The film details Ace's operation of the casino, the difficulties he confronts in his job, the mafia's involvement with the casino, and the gradual breakdown of his relationships and standing as Las Vegas changes over the years. The primary characters are all based on real people. Ace is inspired by the life of Frank Rosenthal, also known as Lefty, who ran the Stardust, Fremont Marina, and Hacienda casinos in Las Vegas for the Chicago outfit from the early 1970s until 1981. Nicky and Ginger are based on mob enforcer Anthony Spilatro and former dancer and socialite Jerry McGee, respectively. Casino was released on November 22nd, 1995, to mostly positive critical reception and was a box office success. Stowe's performance was widely praised, earning her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama and a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress. And, of course, directed by Martin Scorsese, produced by Barbara De Fina, screenplay by Nicholas Pileggi, Martin Scorsese, based on Casino, Love and Honor in Las Vegas, starring Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, Don Rickles, Kevin Pollak, James Woods. Cinematography, Robert Richardson, edited by Thelma Schoonmaker. Schumacher. Yeah, my bad. Production companies, Silas D.A., Legendy Enterprises, De Fina / Kappa, distributed by Universal Pictures. Running time, 178 minutes. It's pretty long, guys. And budget, 40 to 50 million. Box office, 116.1 million.
Yeah. Brad, you were right. He did make a movie in the 60s. His first movie was Who's That Knocking at My Door in 67, which was also the debut of Harvey Keitel.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, so you did do one. Brad, so that's a lot you just read, and this was...
Yeah, Wikipedia got really informed there in that first couple paragraphs.
It's Marty, bro, of course. You gotta, man.
You gotta go a little more in depth, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So, Brad, what are your thoughts on Casino?
I motherfucking love this movie. It's so fun. Everyone, I was telling Raul earlier before we got on, I could listen to Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro yell at each other for a whole 3 hours every day. And it would be my favorite. And also, Sharon Stone plays a crazy bitch like no one else.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I fucking love this movie, dude.
It does not feel like 3 hours. It doesn't feel like 3 hours until you look up at the clock at the end of it and you're going, holy shit.
Yeah, basically. I love the whole setting of Las Vegas, and just because for people who don't really understand, there was a time in place where in Las Vegas there was a presence of the mob.
Yeah, the mob built Las Vegas.
Yeah, they did.
People don't understand that. And they go in and they explain the film perfectly, especially at the end. Mm-hmm. Basically, the mob disintegrated. They called it an oasis or a utopia, and they basically fucked it up.
Yeah,
and that's when all the big corporations came in.
Yeah, pretty much. The performances by De Niro and Pesci are incredible. Keitel does a great job too. I just love so much of the aspects of this movie. I think that this is Martin Scorsese, where he really does work really well with the people. This is the movie that I think that people really go back to, and they're like, yeah, this is, he does the mob movies. Like, this is where he really, shines a lot.
Well, and you said it before, this and Goodfellas, I would say, are his quintessential mob movies.
They're his mob epics.
You said it before, Francis Ford Coppola, he built the doorway. Yeah. That allowed the gangster movies to come into basically, the movie realm in the United States. And then fucking Scorsese blew the doors right off, made it like 20 feet wide, and drove fucking Mack trucks through it.
Yeah, I mean, people can make the argument, but to me, this movie 100% deserves the title of being a mob epic. He created the idea of a mob epic. What's it called? Coppola, his 3 movies together, but Scorsese in one movie is able to create this fucking epic of a mob film. And I get it. Everybody's always saying like, oh, Scorsese only makes crime films, which is totally wrong, completely wrong. He doesn't do only but when he does it, he's on his A game, bro.
I mean, he's best known for his mob. At least to me, he's best known for his mob movies. That's why I'm looking forward to your picks.
Oh yeah,
because I get to see a little extra. It's kind of like I got with Taxi Driver, and Taxi Driver's not a mob pick.
Yeah, and Raging Bull.
What y'all are smoking? Raging Bull is not a mob pick.
Yeah,
you might be able to say Raging Bull kind of a mob pick because boxing and the mob kind of go hand in hand. But other than that, I mean, you're standing on thin ice in that one.
Yeah, I really wish you would have picked Shutter Island. You know, because I
was thinking about it, but Shutter Island is way different. Is a way different film from Scorsese compared to Casino and Goodfellas and all that. Yeah, but I picked Casino, Goodfellas, and The Departed because I figured we would never get to review them.
Yeah, exactly. I understand why. You know, this was the one chance where we almost could have done it. Like, this was our one chance to do it, and I'm glad you kind of chose them. But, you know, dude, this movie is wild. I mean, the fact that, you know, Robert De Niro is basically playing this, you know, up-and-coming bookie. That's basically what he's a fucking bookie. And he's trying, you know, his friend...
And now you got to put this in context, too, because this is really important. And this is what people don't understand. He's a Jewish bookie.
Yeah.
He's not Italian. He's not a made man. So he's technically, and you really get this, he's running things, but he's not really running things. Like Joe Pesci's character, Nicky, like, he's such a fuck up. I mean, throughout this whole film, but technically he's the boss in Las Vegas.
Him or Green.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like this whole movie kind of concentrates on the fact that Robert De Niro is in a place that he's not wanted, and he's trying his damn hardest to be someone when the odds are stacked against him.
I love how De Niro's character Ace is trying to really run a legitimate business
and nobody
in a mob-filled world.
Yeah,
and Nick he literally says in a voiceover, he's like, "This guy doesn't fucking understand. We're the mob. We fucking rob shit."
Pretty much, yeah. And Pesci does an amazing job as Nicky. And God, man, like I said, man, I can watch anything as well with them just yelling at each other. I think these two have a chemistry that I don't think right now anybody can really formulate. You know, what they have together and what they're able to create with each other, it's incredible.
Oh, and it's just so volatile.
Yeah.
Once you throw freaking Sharon Stone in the mix, it's like a Molotov cocktail. And it's just fun to watch everything just burn around them.
Yeah. And God, it's another movie where fucking Pesci gets seduced by the wife, and he's cheating on him with his cheating on his best friend's wife, man.
I mean, when you're 5'2", you got to go for it.
Pretty much, bro. Pretty much.
And it's freaking Pesci. I mean, the man. That's what I always liked with Pesci's character. He always gets those roles where it's just confidence. Like, he's got this freaking confidence going into everything.
Yeah, I'm glad we're doing these movies with Pesci and De Niro because it's just reminding me why I'm so fucking excited for The Irishman. You know,
and then you throw Pacino in there, you're like, oh god.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, like, there's like moments in this movie where I'm like, holy shit, so much is fucking happening, but it's just Scorsese directs a movie like no other. You know, he's able to take this long ass runtime and still make it feel like it's a 1 hour and 2 hour movie.
Well, and also he goes, he isn't very vague in anything. He goes into explanation on shit. Unlike how the casino runs. Like, he goes into the back room and shows them all skimming off the top, and the skimmers are skimming, and he just goes into all of these details. And, you know, usually, like, if this was like a documentary of sorts, which it kind of is, I would just be bored to death, probably. Like, yeah, this is how a casino runs. Yep. But he makes it just so visually entertaining, and especially, and also audio. I love the voiceovers.
Yeah, the narration, the music choices.
The narration where, you know, De Niro goes into narration, and then Pesci, and you even have these random characters go into narration explaining shit. And it's just, I just love how he does that. But I do have a complaint. It is my only complaint on this film. Is that some of the narration gets drowned out by the music in certain scenes.
Yeah. More like a nit. I wouldn't even call that a gripe, Brad. I think that's a nitpick.
It's a nitpick. I mean, but that is really that bothered me throughout this film.
Yeah, me same here. I think it's the sound mixing to me. There's just that little bit of things going on in there, but I think the story just picks itself up and it just goes all out with it. I think a lot of that has to do a lot to the source material that they're adapting. And if you don't know what I'm going towards, it's the ad. Yeah, it's based on a book, and books are fucking awesome. And there we go.
I like books.
Yeah, I just cursed again. I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and wait a little bit more.
Are we cutting that?
No, we're not cutting it. We're just gonna wait a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they go I guess Amazon goes back to listen to this, they're like, oh, they didn't cuss on our ad.
No, they ain't cussing our ad because we're gonna do it later. Yeah, yeah. Either way, because I don't think you're allowed to curse like at least a couple of seconds before. So I'm just kind of drowning out here. But it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Kind of Funny does it like this too, which is funny.
This is when you like expand it. You're like,
that's where you're expanding it. But yeah, this movie is based on a book by Spighelli. I don't know how to say his name. Pileggi. And books are awesome. We've seen cinema really adapt a lot of books, and I mean, we go back to The Godfather. Godfather is the Godfather trilogy is adapted from Godfather by Mario Puzo, which, by the way, helped write the script with Francis Ford Coppola. So it's interesting that Marty, took Pileggi and really worked with him too.
Well, and I want to go look at Goodfellas because I'm sure we'll get probably the same thing.
Yeah, and that's books are awesome, and books are a huge tool that is used by filmmakers since the dawn of cinema. To be real here with you all, and that's honestly why I am here to talk to you all about Audible. Audible has revolutionized the way we look at books and we look at literature in the form of audiobooks. Let me tell you what's so good about audiobooks, guys. For you, the listeners of the Nerdcore podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. And what would be any other choice to give you all but the book we're discussing that is being adapted from this movie, Casino: Love and Honor in Las Vegas by Nicholas Pileggi. Go and check that out, guys. But if you can't get that one, you don't want it, you can always go with the trusted Crush It. Why Now is the Time to Cash In on Your Passion by Gary Vaynerchuk. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/thenerdcore. Again, that's audibletrial.com/thenerdcore for your free audiobook today. All right, man. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go back to this, Brad. Yeah, here's something I was going to say. This really captivates the whole Las Vegas wild lifestyle that we find.
They call it the Wild West, and that's how Nicky lived it.
Pretty much, man. And Nicky's a huge hothead, man. I mean, like,
I like the slight dig they give it to how Vegas is nowadays, of basically just a giant tourist attraction at the end there, and they just have all these like tourists of all kind of different sizes coming into the casino. I like how it's like a jab of like, it used to be cool with just mob bosses and suits and ties, and now you got people with fanny packs.
Pretty much, man. The world has changed a lot, And I was gonna say that it really captivates the idea, and throughout this whole film, I don't think there's one person to really blame. I think everybody's to blame for what happens, man. Sharon Stone, she's a terrible person. Her character's a terrible person.
I think most of these characters are pretty terrible in their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, De Niro's character Ace is overly controlling in every facet of his life, which makes him a great owner of a casino.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but all his other relationships, total shit.
Yeah, and which is what makes you, even though he's so over controlling, and just the thing is that you can't help but root for him because the odds are stacked against him, bro.
Yeah, especially when he's, I figured, Pesci's character is gonna knock him off at some point. When I first watched this, I'm like, you could just see it. It's just kind of a trope in a mob movie that you're ready just to happen, and to see it turn where, that actually didn't happen was something new. I mean,
yeah, it was something new, and it just what's it called? It's always interesting to see these movies because just the way that just the way that that Scorsese really approaches the filmmaking process in this. I was listening to a podcast today, The Big Picture. They were talking about the top 5 Scorsese films, and one of the hosts said something that was really interesting. That when he thinks about Martin Scorsese's movies, he thinks that the camera is a character. It feels like the camera is a character in the film. And I completely agree with it, especially in this movie, dude. It really feels like the camera is just this character that is watching everything kind of happen in a way of like, it's kind of like a documentary.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And that's what I mean when Scorsese really gets into the details on things. And especially their ends. When they meet their ends, so like Sharon Stone's end of her overdosing, which might have been by the mob. They might have dosed, I think they called it a hot dose or something, which to me means they poisoned it. And so you see her final resting place. And then you see Pesci's or Nicky's, which actually, this movie, for what it is, to me, isn't overly violent.
No.
Like, it's got violent stuff going on, but it's no like Joker violent.
No, I don't think so either. I wouldn't call this really violent. I think this is one of his most dialogue heavy films, actually.
I mean, it's terrific. I think Scorsese and Tarantino probably they know how to write dialogue, and I'm glad they do.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think that, Tarantino took a lot of inspiration on how to write a dialogue from him, especially because I just see that a lot of curse words shouldn't work as well as they do, but it comes to the fact that in Martin Scorsese's movies, it works so freaking well, dude. It feels natural. It feels like it's been written by somebody who understands how to use that.
Well, I feel like De Niro and Pesci are just having a regular conversation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Screen, like how they would in real life. And I don't know, maybe they wouldn't, but that's just how I always feel when I see them talking to each other on screen. That's just how I always felt that they would talk to each other.
Yeah. God, it's just when these three work together, it's an incredible movie that you watch, man.
And I mean, we got to bring out the rest of the cast. Yeah. There wasn't a cast member that really dropped any
balls. Oh, no, they didn't.
Even the minor ones, even the fucking hick cowboys that they have on there, where De Niro's just yelling at them.
Pretty much, yeah. Hell, even, Harvey Keitel does a great job in this one, too. So
Harvey Keitel does a great job in every movie.
Yeah, he's just incredible, dude. I mean, even in Reservoir Dogs, he's incredible.
Yeah.
I just love Harvey Keitel.
And then we got to bring up James Woods.
Yeah.
James Woods is such an asshole.
He's such an ass in this movie, bro.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy. Yeah. The freaking cowboy who, he doesn't put down his feet, and then...
But that leads to the greatest dialogue, I think, in this whole film.
Yeah.
Where Pesci is just like, are you a dumb motherfucker?
Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. That's just great. I love that. I love them together, man. I love when these three work together. I think that it's just incredible, dude. They're a match made in cinema heaven.
I mean, the casting on this is terrific. The writing is amazing, and I got to bring this up. The movie's beautiful in itself. Just you get that Las Vegas feel with the neon lights, and then all their houses are like. They're even like modern Vegas now because let's face it, Vegas really hasn't changed in all that much.
Also, I want to just point out something. It sucks that in these next movies we won't see Marty's parents in the in make cameos. Like it's just great every time in these movies where you see Scorsese's parents just like in this one making the spaghetti and meatballs for the mob.
I didn't know that was them. Huh.
Yeah, dude, that was his parents. And also, you cannot talk about Scorsese without talking about the incredible editing by Schumacher. I mean, she is one of the most incredible editors, and really the reason why the movie works so well is because Scorsese has an incredible editor to work with. So, you know, I had to put that out there. You know, just gotta sing the praises for Schumacher.
And I got to bring up some of the best scenes, I thought. And
oh yeah,
I just find it funny because it actually happened in real life. It was actually a part of the real true life story of this. Was the FBI in the plane?
Yep.
And Pesci's just like, these motherfuckers.
I also thought it was look, that one scene where they're speaking on the phone, where the wives are speaking on the phone, and then once they think that they cut off, they really think the FBI wasn't listening past that point, and they still got them.
I mean, I'm sure the FBI just recorded fucking everything at that time.
Pretty much,
like Nicky's character could. I just love the scene where he's having to go into like the underground car lots and trade out cars and, you know, in any form try and get away from the FBI because, let's face it, he fucked up.
Pretty much, man. So you want to go ahead and move on to scoring here?
Yeah, I think we've praised this movie enough that people, you know, I'm hoping anybody who's listening to this has seen Casino at least once because you're missing out if you haven't.
Sacrifice those 3 hours, please. This is a movie that you really have to watch. I think that it's just so incredibly well done, and just the story works so well with it.
Agree. You go first with your score.
All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10, man. The reason I'm hesitating on giving it a 10 is the fact that, you know, the last two works from Scorsese, I think, is some of his best. But it's also just the beginning of the month, so I might change my mind here. But I think that this is a straightforward 9 for me. I think that it is incredible for some of his not earlier work, but really like in the middle. But I think that, you know, there's just, you know, Raging Bull and Taxi Driver to me are just, you know, on a different level than this. But it's still Martin Scorsese, you know, a 9 is basically a 10 to me.
I mean, I think this we can consider the quintessential mob movie.
100%.
Especially a Scorsese mob movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I give that. Is it Godfather-esque? I think Godfather is just to that point where it is basically untouchable in every kind of
his
form
own
and
thing.
way. Yeah. I mean, Godfather would technically be considered a mob movie, but it's way more than a mob movie.
It's a mob drama, honestly.
Yeah. So, I don't think I could put Casino up there. Is it close? I think it's real close. I think Casino is just, to me, Casino is a fun watch, and it's just great to see De Niro and Pesci just screaming at each other for 3 hours. That's like what I think that's my favorite pastime now. I think I'm just gonna find a YouTube video where it's just Pesci and De Niro screaming at each other and just watch that for a while.
By the way, rest in peace, Don. He was the comedian. He was a comedian.
Don Rickles.
Yeah, Don Rickles. And I was watching the Dinner with Don episode with him, Pesci, and what's it called? And Robert De Niro, and it's just incredible. It's just that guy was just amazing, funny as hell.
Yeah. Yep. No. But I got to go ahead and give this a 9.5.
Awesome, man. Yeah, what's it called? This is a big one to really kick off Scorsese month, dude. And it was awesome that we got to do this one. You know, at first I was scared because of the long run time, and then as I kind of went through it, I was like, yeah, this is really just keeps going like that, like just ramping up and up and up, man.
Yeah, and you basically get that climax there where they try to blow De Niro up, and they even go to the explanation on how he survived on a steel plate on that that model car that allowed him to live a car bomb.
Yep. And I mean, and I think about like how much of a ball is on Scorsese to start the movie with him with Robert De Niro, like, quote unquote, dying.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and go into housekeeping here, man. Patreon supporters, they're really the ones who really help advance the show and the brand to where it is. And you can go join the Patreon at www.patreon.com/thenerdcore and really help us out and reach our goals. We do a lot of really cool stuff on there, and we would really appreciate you all going to check that out. If you can't, then don't worry. But if you can and you want to go and support us on there, we definitely appreciate it. Our producers are amazing people, and we really do love them a lot. Our associate producers are Cassie and Sarah. They're awesome. And Grayson is our executive producer along with Shane. Grayson, you can find him on Warlord Hima98 on Twitter and Grayson Barker 98 on Instagram. Brad, let us know where they can find Shane at.
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/SRRKK or his Twitter at SRRKK Twitch.
Awesome, man. What's it called? Go ahead and rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice. It really does help the feed grow. 5-star that bitch. You know you want to. Go and check out the merchandise. www.teespring.com/stores/the-nerd-core. And, go and follow us on Twitter at the Nerdcore _, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Facebook group, the Nerdverse, the official Nerdcore group, and our website, thenerdcore.com, as well as our YouTube channel, where we put a lot of our podcast episodes, and we also do movie reviews on there. So, without further ado, I mean, it's been a wonderful time here, man, and, I'm going to say when we get to that 100 Patreon goal, just have you and I have ourselves a good old bowl of spaghetti and meatballs.
Hey, some garlic bread.
And a little bit of wine on the side, just have a garlic bread. The tortellini, garlic bread, or the rigatoni, you just go and sit down and just do it. Yeah.
Do it.
All right, Brad. Go ahead and you know where to send these motherfuckers into the podcast void.
All right, Ro. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to all our wonderful Patreon supporters, all our wonderful listeners. I saw that 45 listens yesterday. Thank you all so much for that.
Holy shit.
Truly
man.
Appreciated. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but 45 in a day, that touches my heart.
You guys really are liking the live show, man. That's really it's incredible.
It doesn't get much more dumber than that, but
yeah, really. I think I know what you guys are into, man.
Dumb. We got plenty of it.
Oh yeah, a lot to share between us two here. And when you bring Luis into it, oh my god.
Woo. All right. Anyways, again, thank you guys for all you do for us. We truly appreciate it. And say hi to your mother for me. Young Yoda out.